So, Chris, I want to ask you, have you seen the DNC speaking schedule? Because that came out today as well. Um, have you seen that at all?
I browsed at it when people were talking about the fact that before the announcement came out, but they were saying, well, Kamala Harris is at this time, and then they have this
Oh,
other
yeah.
slot for the VP pick. So I just kind of browsed at it, but I didn't dive deep into it.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of people at the get go, if you weren't following it, and I almost was like, hold on, wait a minute, because they had Kamala Harris speaking, and then they had a VP slot for the person who was picked for VP. That person was speaking. So a lot of people saw that and thought, okay, well that probably means that Susan Rice is going to be the pick because Susan Rice wasn't on the speaking list. So they thought since Susan Rice has been sort of gaining in popularity and Kamala Harris already has a speaking slot, why would you get a speak? So a lot of people took that and meant, oh, does this mean that Susan Rice is going to be the VP pick? Well, no, right? We ended up seeing, of course, Kamala Harris was the VP pick. That said, this list is kind of a mess, So this article here talking about how Democrats reveal the speaking convention. You can see this picture here. It's Obama, Hillary Clinton. We got Michelle Obama. We got John Kasich, Republican. We do have AOC speaking. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a bit of a backlash. There was this initial announcement, and this idea was floating around that AOC wasn't going to be speaking. But, of course, we have the Republican lineup to be speaking for the convention. So a lot of people were, very critical of this, saying that, like, basically the Democratic Party isn't at all interested in listening to progressives. It does appear now that AOC does have a speaking slot at the convention. Now, who knows whether or not that came about? Like, it's it's possible that came about because of the fact that there was a whole bunch of outrage, a bunch of backlash over just the leaks of the potential speaking slots, and it didn't have AOC in there. So, who knows? Of course, though, a lot of people basically, you know, gushing over the speaking schedule here. So this is the speaking schedule here. So let's just chat about this here. So on Monday, we've got Bernie Sanders, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, former Ohio Governor John Kasich, who is, of course, as you know, the Republican who ran against Donald Trump in 2016, and former First Lady Michelle Obama. So interesting mix there. You've got Bernie Sanders, then Gretchen Whitmer, then you've got the Republican, and then you've got Michelle Obama. So,
So I
you
mean,
know,
is John Kasich just being put in there to essentially play the role of, the whole orange man bad kind of thing? Like is that the goal or?
my yeah, I mean that's what I see out of it. I guess there's this idea of like Joe Biden is really trying to reach out to the center. Joe Biden is really trying to reach out to the Republicans who are uneasy about Donald Trump, but then still believe the exact same things that because okay, all right, hold on, all right, I'm getting upset here because this is the thing about this here, guys, because it would be one thing if John Kasich were like, all right, I'm done with, this view, that view, and this other view. But instead, what John Kasich turned around and did is, I believe all the things that I used to believe. I just don't like I just don't like Donald Trump's mean tweets. I just don't like his
Yeah.
dispositions, his mannerism. But I still believe in tax cuts for the rich. I still believe in cutting Social Security. I still am anti-gay. Right? Like you have guys, if you're talking about winning a political coalition, you have to be talking about actually winning them. There's this idea that, oh, well, now you've got them to vote for you, therefore you've won them over. No, you didn't win them over because you didn't change them on their ideas. You didn't persuade John Kasich on any of the issues. You didn't win him anywhere. You didn't do
Right.
anything. The only thing you did is got him to not vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, and what's the policy message that you're trying to send when you have both John Kasich, you're platforming John Kasich and then AOC. So like what possible policy could you be putting forth that's supposed to appeal to both of those people?
It's
You know what I
they're
mean?
not they're not That's the thing. It's not policy serious. It's just this idea that, like, oh well, we're catering to one base, we're catering to another base,
Right.
and that's what it is. Like, I that's honestly, there's not much more to say about it than that. But it does show you that Joe Biden isn't going to fight for AOC's policies because it means that they would have to be alienating John Kasich supporters in the Democratic Party. That's how I read it. I don't see, like, I mean, yeah, that's how I see it, right? Like, what do you? I don't know what else you would take out of this, right? Because you're saying that
Yeah.
John Kasich is now welcome in the Democratic Party, that the views of John Kasich are now welcome here.
So what do you think we're going to see out of AOC? I mean, is she? I'm
I'm
guessing they
super
didn't just
curious.
give her like a free card to say like go up there and say whatever you want, right? Because that's probably really not what they want to be platforming when they're trying to get Biden and uh,
I'm super curious. And
and Harris going. So I'm wondering how, because she doesn't seem like someone who really takes a lot of
yeah,
gruff
I'm
or whatever.
super
So it seems like she'd speak her mind, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm curious to see what actually happens here.
Yeah, so she's speaking on Tuesday. Let me just quickly read the other candidates that are speaking, or not candidates, the other people who are speaking on Tuesday. So we've got former acting Attorney General Sally Yates. We've got Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. We've got AOC, and then we've got Bill Clinton and Jill Biden speaking all on Tuesday. I will say that some people were saying that, they wish that Bernie Sanders and AOC were speaking sort of back to back. I actually like the fact that they're speaking on separate days because it's sort of more days that sort of the progressive view, or at least a progressive is being represented. So anyway, just my take on that slight squabble there. But yeah, I am curious what she's going to say. I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm definitely going to be watching what AOC has to say. I'd love to see her shoot some shots at more centrist candidates. That definitely would be exciting. Same thing for Bernie Sanders. I'd love him to come out and, shoot some shots talking about how we
Right.
need to push Joe Biden further left or something like that. That would be something exciting to see, and it would no doubt create an immediate meltdown from
Right.
centrist establishment, from the New York Times. Immediate meltdown would pursue there, would ensue there. So, but yeah, so next we've got, in terms of Wednesday, we have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We've got Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren. We've got Barack Obama, and this article clearly was written
Oh
before
yeah.
Kamala Harris was announced. We've got the yet unnamed vice presidential nominee, which again is the thing that led to all those rumors, all that speculation stuff going on here. And then, because then you can see here on Thursday, you've got Cory Booker, Mayor Pete. We've got Kamala Harris and the Biden family and the presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden. And I'm not sure where it is here, but there was another specific VP slot there. And so, but anyway, a lot of people were looking at that and saying, well, hold on, Susan Rice is not on this lineup. Susan Rice is considered to be one of the top picks. Kamala Harris is a top pick, but there's another slot out there for the VP. Is that saying implicitly that Kamala Harris is not the pick? Clearly not, right? Clearly, Kamala Harris was the pick anyway, so they threw that out to throw everybody off, and then within like 2 hours
Yeah.
later, they announced it anyway. So
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, a couple of things with these discussions, I guess, like where they're gonna.
yeah, I'm so it is, a lot of people obviously are upset at the fact that Mayor Pete got a speaking slot. I'm not surprised though. Like, there were a few people out there who seemed surprised. Like, why are they giving one to Mayor Pete? That's surprising. I didn't find that particularly surprising at all. After all, Joe Biden says he's going to be the bridge candidate to the Mayor Petes of the world. That
Yeah.
he's going to be the what was the word that he used? Was it the transition candidate? That's right. I'm the transition nominee. I don't know about you guys. I don't really want to nominate. I don't really want to vote for a transition candidate. I want to vote for the candidate that's going to do the
Right.
thing. I don't, I'm not trying to vote for
Right.
a transition candidate here, especially a transition candidate to Mayor Pete, which, by the way, is so weird of him to say something like this. I know that we've definitely hashed this one out many, many times here. But it was Mayor Pete's ideology that was so soundly, so roundly rejected by the young people in this country. But those are the people out there who he's trying to bring the reins to. How I saw that was Joe Biden was looking at that and saying, well, Mayor Pete's young, so that means that he's the young guy coming into politics. He's the
Yeah.
next up and coming whippersnapper, and he's going to be voted for by all the young people, of course, right?
Well, and it's been
So,
interesting. There's been quite a bit of talk about him in the last day. I don't know if you saw this, but
mm,
did you see where at some point people were tracking a private flight from what city is it? Is it Bend,
oh,
South Bend or whatever?
yeah,
They were tracking a private flight and thinking, oh, this is Pete Buttigieg being brought in to be given the vice presidency spot or whatever. Which then, of course, none of that turned out to be true. It's just funny.
right.
People see,
It wasn't, well, people were pissed because they were like, oh my gosh, they're going to give it to a man like Mayor Pete. I, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, he already said it was going to be a woman. Like, why would he suddenly
Right.
like just come out like a couple hours before? Whoops, nope. Actually, I'm going to pick a man. It's going to be Mayor Pete. That would that would actually piss off the base of the Democratic Party, and I would say
Right.
rightly so because he just lied openly all this time. Anyway,
Yeah.
DNC speaking schedule. It's interesting.